What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Tyler here from TarverAcademy.com, and I want to give you your problem of the day. Okay, so here we go. It says, which of these inequalities has no solutions? Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video, give it a shot, see if you can find an answer, and then hit resume, and I'll explain to you what the answer is. Ready? Pause. And resume. Okay, so whenever we're looking at this, we want to say which of these is no solutions. Now, this is not like a here's the problem, find the answer type situation. You're going to have to look and analyze each of these four to figure out which one just doesn't work. Okay, so let's take a look at the first one. So what I would recommend is just go ahead and try to solve it and see if you can find like a discrepancy between them. All right, so we've got this one. I can go ahead and solve this one. So I can subtract 4 from both sides. That'd be 2x is greater than, and then 1 minus 4 is negative 3. Then I divide by 2. And x is greater than negative 3 over 2. Okay, nothing looks crazy about that. We could have any problem to where you plug in an x and it's greater than that. So there's nothing crazy there. Honestly, just looking at this equation, I would think that it's not A or D because look, those are just regular problems. Like you could just, same thing over here. Like, oh, I just need to solve for x. And you could, subtract 3 from both sides. Negative x is greater than or equal to 2. And then I would just divide by negative 1 to get rid of that. And all thing crazy here is if you divide by negative 1 and there's a inequality, you just have to flip it. And then be 2 divided by negative 1, which is negative 2. So there's nothing crazy there either. So I know it's probably going to have to do with my absolute value signs. All right, so let's take a look at it. We've got absolute value of x is greater than negative 5, and then absolute value of x is less than negative 10. Now, the crazy thing about absolute value is that, or not the crazy thing, but just the thing about absolute value is what it does is it pretty much kills all negatives. I call it the negative killer. So an absolute value kills negatives. It's like an overly positive person. Oh, okay. I don't know why I did that voice or that laugh. So essentially what it does is like if you've got, 3 and it's in absolute values, that's 3. Nothing changes. It literally has no effect. It might as well just be parentheses if it's a positive number. Now, where absolute value actually has a superpower is whenever it's absolute value of a negative number. So absolute value, I don't know why I bring it, negative 5 equals positive 5. All it does is change the negative to a positive. So if you had like negative, 108, and it's in absolute values, that's just going to be positive 108. All it does is kill the negatives. It's kind of like Aquaman. He has no powers on land, but then whenever you put him in water, he's pretty powerful. So pretend that like having a negative is being in water. That was dumb. Okay, so let's see which one of these doesn't work. One of the good ways to find out something that doesn't work is to plug in stuff to make it not work. So let's try it. So we've got absolute value is greater than negative 5. So essentially I would try like, an absolute value of like 1. So let's put 1 in there. So absolute value of 1 is greater than negative 5. That means it would just be the same as 1 is greater than negative 5. Is that true? Yeah, 1's bigger than a negative because negative's like digging a hole, and if you're a foot above the hole, then you're greater than. Okay, so let's try it with a negative in there. So we got negative 1. So absolute value of negative 1 would just be 1 is greater than negative 5. Does that work? Yeah, it does. Okay, so I don't see anything wrong with this one. But let's check out this one before we get all crazy. Okay, so it's absolute value of x is less than negative 10. All right, well, let's try like a regular number, so let's just try 2. Absolute value 2 is less than negative 10. Well, absolute value 2 is just 2. Is 2 less than negative 10? No, negative 10 is a negative, and 2 is a positive. Therefore, negative 10 should be less, so that doesn't work. Well, let's try negative 2. Absolute value of negative 2 is less than negative 10. Well, what's it going to do? It's going to kill that negative. It's going to turn into 2 is greater than or is less than negative 10, which is not true. So I think out of all of them, you would agree, not going to work there, boss. If you got that as your answer and you actually paused it and tried to work it, give yourself 10 points. I put up a 2, but that means peace. So 10 points for you if you get a chance. Go to YouTube and, well, you're on YouTube, but check me out on social media at Tyler Tarver and then TarverAcademy.com for all your math needs. Thanks. Have a great day.